You decide 2016 vice presidential candidates Mike Pence and Tim Kaine traded some jabs at each other last night, but mostly tried to make the case for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. NKU political science professor Dr. Ryan Salzman here this morning to talk about the debate, and did they talk at all? Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, a couple of questions I have for you. The first one, something that's trending today, hashtag interruptions.
Yeah, so, I think probably a lot of our viewers out there, they probably were thinking, can this really maintain the level of animosity that we had seen in up to this point in the campaign? And I think that, yes, it absolutely did. But that's okay, because the point of these venues is to have a robust debate. It's not to be very measured in our responses, but it's to be somewhat combative. That's how democracy is set up to work. The interruptions were a part of that. It was a big part of Donald Trump's game in the first debate. And I think that Tim Kaine, that was probably a lot of his mission, was to try to knock Mr. Pence off of his kind of center, so to speak, and to be the more combative one, since Hillary is not being that combative.
CNN called Tim Kaine pestering in an article I read this morning, but it does seem like they both had a strategy.
They did. And I think Tim Kaine's was definitely to be pestering. I think he kept saying, you need to defend, you need to defend, you need to defend. And a lot of that, is going to be predicated on interruptions. I think Mike Pence's job was to be very even-keeled and instill Trump supporters with faith that when we look at this administration, that he will be sort of the rock for what is at times seen as a candidate who can be less easy to pin down. And I think they both achieved what they wanted to achieve there.
Did we learn anything new? Syria, national debt, Trans-Pacific Partnership, so many huge issues going to this election. Anything come out of this last night?
I don't think so. I think if we were going to learn anything, it would have been more about the vice presidential candidates. It's hard to say how much light a vice presidential candidate can really shine on the issues of the major presidential candidate. But there were a lot of issues that did not come up, which I thought was quite surprising. Benghazi, I don't think we've heard the word Benghazi in the first two debates, which is really interesting. TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, did not come up at all. The one thing that was harped on this time that was not in the presidential debate was the tax returns. But of course, that's become more of an issue since the report released last weekend.
Okay, so do you think that this debate will impact or sway the very small margin out there that are still undecided?
No, I'd be surprised to see that anybody that's out there would be persuaded by this debate. I think that it's an important step in our process. We're undergoing this process. It's been going on for over a year now, and this is an important step to kind of vet those candidates, but I don't think you're going to see any movement in the polls because of this debate.
Okay, and before we go, who, quote, won the debate? That's going to be the big question today.
Well, I'm gonna hedge my bets and say that it was a tie, which probably bodes better for Pence. And I said this in some ways about the last debate where Trump, even though he lost by a lot of standards, he didn't lose badly. I thought Pence probably did more of what he needed to do, but we'll see, because Hillary could take a lot of instruction from what Tim Kaine did, and so we'll just have to look to the next debate.
Next debate this Sunday, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you.
Hopefully so.
Talk to you soon. We're going to send it over to Jessica.
All right, Kara, thanks. Well, Hurricane Matthew pounds Cuba. Folks